BroTime.
BroTime.
Everybody at one point had no experience at their job.
Right. Totally.
And I need to say that just fucking doesn't matter if you've got a PhD, you're going to go do something that you've never done before.
Right.
And I can't like explain to people on jobs that I'm not an idiot. Whatever you all do here, if someone shows me how to do that thing, I can do that thing.
100%. I was just about to say
I
that.
can do that thing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if I have experience or not. Like, you don't know me as a person, but like there's nothing on this planet that if someone didn't show me how to do it, or anyone else for that matter, that you can't do.
And having seen both of you move through multiple positions through jobs together successfully, like, we can be trained, right? We can be trained. Like, that was one of the best pieces of advice I got when I was moving into management back in my Jillian's days. My buddy Jeff was, the one that was like, "Hey, I think you could do this."
Sidebar with that is, you were fortunate you had Jeff, not to pat you on the back, but here we go. I also had you, and that's kind of the whole point was I witnessed firsthand leaving another job, watching how management development cannot happen despite best intentions.
Right, totally, yeah. And, that was something I always took with me going forward, whether successful or not, it was an attempt. But Jeff really powered that into me because whenever he wanted to put me up and we had the conversation, I just finished school, my audio school stuff, and I just kind of put that behind me as like, I'm not going to do it because I got kids on the way and blah, blah, blah. And, but my question to him was like, I don't want to go back to school. Like, I don't want to go like do business school shit. He's like, you don't have to. That was my life. I went and did that. Just learn from me, just progress that way. And I'm like, I never even thought about that, like on-the-job training kind of shit. This is the right way and this is the
wrong way to apply or to be trained.
Like, local weatherman Steve Poole, who passed away, like, last year, was on Como for, like, 35 fucking years. He's not a meteorologist,
Right, yeah.
Well,
yeah, we find ourselves in these positions. You show up with confidence. You do the best you can. Be honest about what you don't know. And, like, fuck, man. And it's like, it kind of goes into that imposter syndrome, which I struggle with a lot, but I'm finding my way through it.
Yeah.
But I've heard people people that are successful in their own rights that, will openly say, like, I have no right to be here, right? Like, I'm not really talented. Like, I just was right place, right time.
Bitch.
Exactly. He's one that champions that. But it's like, you show up, you were clearly called to be there. Whether or not you need to think about it, to be there, right? But you're called to be there, so be there, show up, do the best you can, see what happens.
Yeah,
and it just kind of like
that's kind of what I'm needing to remind myself is that all I can control is like the effort that I'm going to put into it, which is really in my mind self-serving, but not really. I don't really question that part of it.
Right,
Robin. I want you to remember Rudy Giuliani. Past the fucking bar. Okay?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You can do a paralegal job.
All right? Yeah.
There are
100%.
fucking idiots that are lawyers. There are fucking idiots that are doctors. There are fucking idiots that are president of the United States. There are idiots everywhere. It has nothing to do with their capability of doing a job. It's just whether they were willing to, like, finagle their way in.
But no, I mean, it's been so awesome not fucking waiting tables for the last week and a half.
Bro, can I tell you something? I had such a bad weekend. I had a
I had a great first of all, I'm very sorry to hear that. Like, so my last week at my job was actually like kind of like a great reunion tour.
Of course it was.
Like, there was no bullshit.
Right.
No bullshit.
Yeah.
I didn't get to say goddbye to like really a couple of the regulars that I really wanted to, but I said goodbye to like the 4 that I really did.
Yeah. All right.
I didn't get the dozen.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 years.
Did they let you finish your 2 weeks out, your full schedule that you...
Well, yeah, I mean, basically I gave them like 11 days notice or some shit, and I'm like,
some places are like 2 days. But
I'm like, I'll work out whatever you've got posted.
Yeah.
But we had...
Oh, I'm fucking... tell me about your bullshit.
Please. Okay, so I had such a fucking bad
tables.
weekend. The hardest part for me always has been not the job. The job I can do blindfolded.
Right.
It is the humans that I have to deal with.
Yeah.
It is... Yeah. At this job, thank God, it is not the coworkers. This is the first time where that has never been an issue.
Yeah, coworkers are big.
So that makes it easier, but it is the humans I have to interact with every day. And like you said, like these... business guy coming in, whatever. And I had a guy come in. He was an uncle of one of the chefs that we have. And I was just like walking around. I was just having a bad day. And he like flagged me down. And I've never met this guy before, but he looked at me and he was like, I just want you to know that there are people that are coming in here that are going to think that they're better than you. And they're not.
Oh, that's really
Oh,
sweet.
shit.
Out of nowhere.
Wow.
And I was like...
I thought this was going to go completely the other way.
Oh, it will. Hold on one second.
Oh, fuck.
This was before that weekend, but
Jesus
like
Christ.
it was just like the sweetest fucking thing. This guy like saw that I was like struggling or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
that's great.
So,
I
and it was
love
just
that.
like
Shit.
the nicest little moment. And he was so sweet. And so this last weekend, one of the girls that I normally work with had taken the weekend off or something. And so we brought someone in from another location.
Oh, that's...
And so, like, we didn't have our A team, let's just say.
that's
you know,
less
we
than
had people
ideal.
out sick. We're kind of struggling, whatever. And so the way our everyone has just been an asshole all day. Everyone has been like, the app for the wait list said 5 minutes. We've been waiting 6. What the fuck is going on? Like that kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
it was just like people literally pawing at me, waving me down, yell
it's
like
the worst shit.
just like treating me
Let
like
do my-
subhuman
let me-
shit. You know what I mean?
Let me deal with my 5 tables of assholes right now, but I don't want to getting pawed at by other people.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
standing next to
Hate
one
that.
table,
Taking an order.
Taking order. The
In
next table
fucking
is
bad-
cocktail sauce. You see, I got your order for the cocktail sauce. You've seen that I've moved one table down. I have not left this space. So how
Yeah.
would I get that? So like that's been the vibe. Everyone has just been an asshole. So also the way our restaurant is
Real
set
quick,
up.
the slushy shirt. I dig it.
Bitch, it is EG's. It's my favorite. It's from
That's pretty
Tucson.
dope. That is really
so
dope.
these are what they're known for. Are their slushy drinks, and every time I go to their merch store, it's sold out of everything. And then I hit it on a day after this horrible weekend. I got really drunk, and I just bought all the merch that was available. So I have like
Keychain, float for the
literally
boat.
stickers, water bottles, shirts, sweatshirts. So I have EG's everything.
That's great. I love that.
Thank you.
We're all gonna get stocking stuffers and these fucking slushy
exactly.
shit.
No one else is getting shit. It's all for me. So anyway, so the way our restaurant's set up, like technically we're ADA, but we are not ADA.
Yeah, right. yeah.
So we have a lift, but it is full of shit that is stored.
God.
We have a table that is ADA, but it's where all of our server station supplies are.
Yeah.
So it's our plates, our silverware roll-ups, our knives, our forks, butters. Like literally, that is our lifeline, right? So when someone comes for an ADA, we are happy to accommodate. But that also means that it fucks up our entire system. And I don't know if you've been in that restaurant, you probably have.
Oh, yeah.
It is tiny as fuck. There are 2
Yeah.
places to pick up from the window. The kitchen is
no.
right there. There is like literally a counter
So
where
this
an
is
entire
like
restaurant.
this is like a high chair and a stroller and a fucking walkway, basically.
Exactly.
Like
Right.
it's like
So-
seating someone on the expo line or
Yep,
some shit. Like I'm just trying to.
exactly like
Oh,
that. Like if we had
God.
just sat someone in the expo line, that's what it feels like. So everyone has to. So everything moves to our bev station. Our bev station also doubles as like where we
Talk
unload
shit about the
dishes
tables.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Or like where we make drinks. There's no bar to make drinks. So like every place in this restaurant has like 8 purposes. So when one is removed, it just fucks the whole system up.
Yeah.
So we have an 88 person come in, which is fine. But we had to clean the entire back hallway, boxes of wine,
Oh, just
linen
like
bags,
Scattered.
empty
chairs.
kegs.
Yeah.
Just
literally
fucking.
had to move it all. So we're losing one person because they have to go
Yeah,
clean
like
that.
I gotta go mop.
We
and
have to
sweep
lose
and-
another person because once someone's cleaning the silver, we have a new person that doesn't quite know what she's doing, and then me dealing with the bane of existence of society.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone and we have this new thing on the menu that is like it requires like 8 touches. Like it's just too much for our kitchen.
Yeah.
But we make it work because not a lot of people order it. Of course, what's the one thing everybody wants that day? Fucking
Everybody.
black cod.
Oh,
So we have like
fucking-
14 black cods lined up. Full restaurant, waitlist out the door. And
Person
then
wants
88
to run
coming
food
in.
but doesn't know where to go.
Exactly.
I'm getting
And
anxiety
and
just
just
hearing
like
this.
and just like walking around
Only
the
a
restaurant.
week and a half removed from this
No
shit.
urgency whatsoever. And I'm like, I need you to move. Like pick something up on your way back in. Don't just be making circles. Anyway. So they did, and so I'm already in a headspace where I just want to murder everyone around me. And I want to I wish someone would. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
right.
I'm ready for a fight. So
Just an excuse.
it's just an excuse.
I'm
Please
ready
give me an
for a
excuse.
fight.
I am. I want some. Oh God, I want you to. I want you to. So
when he
that's the
drops
vibe.
his silverware and kids he chops it out of
Literally,
apple.
just
Fucking do
people
it.
dropping shells on the table, fucking
I'm
just
ready.
spitting food out, leaving
God
flosses on the
damn.
whatever. I wish you would. So the ADA lady comes in. They sit down. We sit at the expo station basically, and all of a sudden I'm at the bar, which is like. All I can see is like my sight is kind of half taken up by the bar, so I can't quite see everything, but I can see enough.
Yeah.
So the way that her wheelchair is set up, it is kind of right at level with the expo station. It's a lower table, which is why it's 88.
Fuck.
So I'm making like 18 martinis that everybody wants differently. So I'm making martinis, and all of a sudden I see her barefoot just flop and put it on the table because it's like right next to her wheelchair, right? And so I'm like, this is it. This is my 13th reason.
God.
This is it. So I'm ready to be like, and so I look at my
Like,
coworker
taking off the
and I go,
earrings and shit.
fucking bare feet on the table. And she looks at me and she goes, no hands.
Oh,
The woman did not
okay,
have
yep,
hands.
Yep. Then you got to eat
So,
with your toes. Seen it happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nicest woman. This
Got
has
it.
nothing to do with her.
But
But
you're
this
just like, mother.
my 13th
Now
we're in a
reason.
position to even
I
understand
I
it.
was
And now
at
your
such a
shit
place
day?
I was ready to throw down with a woman in a wheelchair.
She would've
Like,
kicked your
She
ass.
would have kicked
Yeah.
my ass. But I
Yeah.
was just like,
No hands, too.
literally. And then after that, I was like, I need to find a different job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it has pushed me to this point where I was just so ready. I just assumed. I just was like, whatever. And so I went on my break and I started like looking at different jobs where I just didn't have to interact with human beings. And I found one called a soil specialist, and it's for a company called Recompose. And it is a, I didn't apply for it, but I almost did. It is a human composting funeral home. So I would be composting human remains. But on my break, I was like, this is a step up from where I am at right now.
Right.
It
That's
probably is a pretty stress-free job. The only problem is you're going to deal with grieving families and shit.
Yeah, but like this I think is more of like just warehouse working. I'm not actually going to do it. It was just like
Well,
a
no,
funny,
I know, but like realistically,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, that fucking
if
racket.
anyone out there's looking for a job, it's like the company sounds dope as fuck. In the description, it's like we're anti-racist, we're feminist, we're inclusive. You get 150 PTO a year, you get medical, dental.
it's a growing option. It's a great option.
And it's just like in Seattle, so I was just like, so all weekend I was like, soil specialist sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Soil specialist sounds pretty good.
Well, think of how much of our land, and not to say like I'm trying to like say bring that into it, but just how much of our land is taken up by funeral homes and funeral plots and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's
cemeteries are fucking stupid.
Well, death is like
it's like golf
such,
courses. No
like,
offense,
the
but like
most
it's like
natural.
a
golf
million
courses,
gallons of
as
water
a golfer,
a day
it's
almost.
fucking insane. Like
Yeah.
I love golf. Well, okay, love might be a bit. I
golf.
enjoy golf.
Yeah. You're an advocate.
Yeah, let me dial that down. But it's just like the fucking waste of resources. Like Palm Springs is amazing, but if you fly over that shit, you're like, cool, this should not exist.
Right.
We should
Yeah.
not have all these golf courses in the middle of a
all
fucking
of
desert.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little known fact, I don't know if you guys knew this, and I went to battle for a long time about this. So when we remodeled Red Hook, so picture the expo line. Like if you're looking at the expo
I think
line.
I remember some of these.
Right, so
stories.
there's the kitchen door, and there's that little gap where we have the soup station, and then there was the expo line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that gap where we had the soup station, there was supposed to be a six top there.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was the chef's table. And I was like, you cannot take a space away from the staff to openly exert their frustrations in a calm way.
is that what you said?
100%,
Yeah.
dude.
Good for you.
They're going to hear all of that from the kitchen to the expo staff to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
servers that need a break. That table's going to
This
hear
will
all of
implode the
it.
restaurant.
This is not going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
And you can't stop it. If you want to stop it, you might as well drug test the entire staff because that's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're asking them to not do something that's
Yeah,
physically
does that-
needed
Yeah.
for them to do this fucking job.
Does that table want to hear about fucking their server hitting
Yeah.
the slopes till fucking 4 a.m.
Yeah.
with the expo and the busser? You know, because it's funny. It's just like, oh yeah, fucking look at so and so over there. Yeah, he was puking at fucking 3 a.m.
Well, think about it. I mean, it was bad enough where we had the silverware rolling station
Yeah.
where we ended up putting that. It was
Yep.
right to the back of the backside of
my
that
God.
bar.
I got in trouble because of my voice carrying.
Oh my God,
Oh,
so
yeah,
many
mine does
times.
too.
I'm like, I don't want to tell you guys to be quiet, but like, fuck, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm laughing at what you're saying, but this is louder than you
terrible.
think it is.
Chef's table at the soup
Yeah,
tureen
dude.
thing.
Yeah, at
that
least
would've
like
been
at our
bad.
place we have kind of a back area that we can go to, like that's completely off the
Yeah.
floor, and their bathroom isn't. No one uses the bathroom from the restaurant in there other than us, so it's just like that's our one safe place, and it's just like, I can't. It is the best restaurant job anyone could have.
Yeah, it's a great.
But it
place.
is still
It's
a
still
fucking restaurant
It's
job.
still restaurants,
and
yeah.
it is. There is something in the water since the pandemic. People are
It's rough.
fucking wild right
It's
now.
rough.
Like it's always been bad, right?
But it's almost scapegoat
It
bad
is
now.
insane right
Yeah,
now. It's
Like,
actually
obvious
insane.
and
scapegoat,
and I would say, you know, and every place is different, but the shift to tip pooling has made it like financially not as worth it to kind of put up with the litany of bullshit.
Right, because, well, like, I mean,
servers make great fucking money. Like, let me rephrase that.
That's the only
Capable,
reason
competent
why
servers
we
that
do
show
it.
up on time will make good money.
Right.
It is the only reason why we do it.
Yeah.
No one's doing this because they love serving.
Yeah. Right.
No one is like, you know what, I want to be a server the rest of my
Really
life.
take care of people.
I legitimately do enjoy. See, this is the other thing though. Is like what I'm going to describe is extreme part-time serving, in which eventually you're probably gonna be like, I don't fucking need this, because you're gonna be one shift away from being, why am I doing this?
Yep. Yeah.
But like if we're talking about like going there once a week and working like a 4-hour shift in which
Princess
you're not
shift, love it.
Yeah, that all sounds great, but it's, again, after a while, it's just gonna be like, man, what the fuck am I doing here, coming here once a week and putting up with this fucking asshole? I'm just not gonna do it.
The money doesn't pan out.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And this is the longest, like,
because it can be fun. It is fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
not
Environments.
everyone's fucking pricks. You can get a great row of tables.
the good days at restaurants are rad. Like, the last table I had last night was dope as fuck.
Yeah.
And they were so funny. It was a bunch of old ladies. Like, if every table was like that, I would fucking love my job. But, like, they are the 2%.
Yeah.
It is...
When you had that guy who said, you're going to see people today that think they're better than you and they're not better than you.
It almost made me cry.
So that's right up there with, I think I've told you about this, but and this was at my last job. I had a guy who came up to the rail and I was bullshitting with him and I'm like, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, he said, I have an obligation too to be, polite and respectful and whatnot, because, I'm coming in and getting served by you.
Right.
It's like, holy shit, I've done this for a long time and I've never heard anyone, even industry people, say that shit.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, and it's just like this mindset. I think people
Rich.
come in.
Shout out Rich.
Shout out. They think it's like their opportunity to have a servant. Like, I don't need to not make a mess because it's their job to clean it up. I don't.
Oh,
need to
I hear
not
that
do this
shit. What am I
it's their
tipping him
job
for?
to
What
do
am I
that.
tipping him for?
And I was like, yeah, I guess. Or you could just like be a decent human, great
Shouldn't make a
service,
mess.
and that's also like
pack it in, pack it out. Should pick up your dog shit on the fucking
like,
trails.
is that why you're going out? Like, you would do this at home? You're
That's
telling
a
me
really
this is
good
what you would do
question.
this
Is
at
that
home?
why you're going out?
Right.
Like,
I've never thought of it like that.
When I'm
really
going out,
interesting,
I'm going
Jesus
out for
Christ.
great food, for nice drinks, for a good experience, for like that's why I go out.
Right.
I'm not going out to be served.
Power play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because, like,
we've done this a long time, and you and I both like, wow, is that why you're going?
I'm also like not paying for. I'm not even really paying for the service in my mind. Like I'm paying to not cook, so I don't have to
you're
cook.
paying to not
I'm
cook.
paying to have food that is served to me that I could not do better.
Yep.
It is something I don't have access to.
Right.
I don't have the resources for. That's what I'm paying.
Yeah.
I'm not like using this as a time to be like, it's not my job to do that. Like,
As this goes down, that goes down that bitch fest. As I sit here and think about work, it's like, it's like families coming in right before last call. It's like, well, we got to eat dinner. It's just like, cool. Like your inability to plan, your inability to plan your family's meal is not my fucking problem.
Yeah, that's the thing that kills me. And they're always the last ones to leave are always the ones that leave no tip. Or like not no tip, well, like no tip for us because we have the service charge. But like
I've been 10 days
come
removed
in
from this.
at 7:40,
5 years
and I'm
almost.
like, "Hey, we
good.
close in like 10 minutes," and they're like, "Cool, but you're open now." I go, "We close."
I won't go
in
anywhere
10
within a half
minutes.
an hour of their closing time.
Nope.
Like you're asking
Nope.
for an hour
Nope.
experience in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You in no other industry would this fly.
No.
Yeah.
And because you think of us as subhuman shit,
Yep.
you think as long as I'm in the door, so we all have families we'd like to go home to.
Yep.
I've been here 10 hours.
Right.
Like I'm cool. Like I'm glad if you were here 10 minutes ago it would have been different. But like now that we're in this 10, 15 minute era, like you're a dick.
Yeah.
You're a dick.
Old job, a bunch of regulars, they're Uber drivers and they're all pretty nice and shit, but they will stay after, after, and it's just like,
No urgency.
you
to get
charge
out.
me
Yeah. Right.
by the fucking second if you have to wait. And now we're going to pretend that you don't know the fucking hours.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is like even if I
Yeah,
do go to a
God.
place and like that has happened to me before where they
Fucking
like I'll
restaurant.
walk in and not know and then I'll order and they're like, "Hey, kitchen's closed." I was like, "Jesus Christ, put it in to-go bag. I'm out of
I
here."
am so
or
fucking
like,
sorry. Here's
or
an extra
I'm
$5.
eating it,
My
or
bad.
I'm tipping you like $20 or
Yeah,
right.
cash to everybody or whatever. Like
Like
if someone
beforehand,
walks in,
like I'm
right.
sorry, here's $40.
Totally.
I swear to God, I'll tip more.
But if I'm coming in beforehand and don't know that and then find that out, I will make it worth your while. It's
Right.
the people that will sit down, that have been notified, have no urgency, leave no tip,
Right.
leave you're not. I'm sweeping. We're clearly
You're not participating in society. You're
tables
turning
are like
this into
chairs
like
are on tables, and you're just sitting there with a minuscule left of wine, and I'm coming over being like, anything else? Oh, not right now. What do you mean not right now?
just enjoying the moment.
You're
right
done.
now.
Here's your check. Get the fuck out. Like,
do you mean
the
not
fuck.
right now?
One of the things that I caught myself saying at sound baths, because most of my sound baths are on weekends, right, and the weekend evenings, and so like it's actually like I used to get teared up about it because like especially a couple years after stopping drinking, like how many people show up on a Friday night at like 7:00?
I wouldn't want to,
to do like an hour-long meditation.
Yeah.
Where we used to go get drunk and like all this shit.
I mean,
right?
as
It's like,
someone
it
who
was so
doesn't even
beautiful,
drink,
right?
that seems like a difficult thing for me to like section off that like
Right.
chill mode in the
Yeah.
middle of Friday night. I don't
Right.
even go out.
Well, and there's like, and the range is like, I'll have sometimes 5 people, sometimes 70 people, right?
That's
and it's
crazy.
just, it's insane, right? But one of the things I caught myself saying is that, it's I love what I do now because at least I'm at least I'm taking care of people that want to be here.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
this, but then I thought, I'm like, but no, everybody wants to go to restaurants. When they go to restaurants, it's like, oh fuck, I got to go to the fucking restaurant. It's like you were saying, right? But so now what I say is like, it's not really any better, but I used to responsibly, and I air quote, responsibly get people drunk, and now I choose to take that time to reverse a lot of that stuff, because like I think you got to understand like you're in a place to where you're just dumping all your shit onto somebody else
Yeah.
and not actually dealing with the stuff that's in a healthy way, right? A dump on somebody else isn't healthy, right? It might make you feel better in the moment because at least you've had a moment to just like release a
Release it,
charge,
yeah.
but like that's not a way to just like continue on as a human,
Yeah.
right? But all of that, I did my first. I was excited to talk to you guys about this. I did my first cannabis sound bath.
Nice.
Yeah, this last Sunday. So this guy, Jared, which is funny because this guy, Jared, he was on my podcast recently, the other podcast. Him and his wife do rituals around how to change people's kind of perspective around cannabis, utilizing it as a medicine. We used to get kicked out of head shops for saying like bongs instead of water.
No,
bottles,
but
right?
for lack of a better term, is this, and again, I don't want to be fucking too rude here, but like that's educating some squares on how to get high responsibly.
Or no, also somebody like myself. Like I grew up in the South. I had people go, like friends of mine went away for months, if not years, for like half a sack, like an ounce of weed and shit, right? So like there's a big criminal element that hangs over my perception of marijuana and cannabis, right?
Yeah.
And so it's even people that have utilized it for a while that maybe just want to maybe put some more intention into the way that they utilize
It is pretty insane, like
like just haphazardly just grabbing your pipe and smoking it without even realizing you're
so
doing it,
I
right?
mean, but the places that I have smoked a joint publicly
Yeah.
in the United States is becoming more of an exclusive list where I haven't.
Yeah, right.
Like,
It's
and
kinda fun.
again, it's over half the states have the shit legal.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So we did a 4-hour sound bath cannabis kind of
4 hour.
Wow.
Okay, that might be a little.
Well, we wanted to give people enough time to
get high.
Well, to come down afterwards,
Oh,
right?
that's
To not
fair.
leave all high up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not everyone's
Yeah.
athletes like
Right,
like
exactly.
present company to be like.
But so we talked about like some of our past experiences with cannabis. Talked about how we can maybe change some of those ideas and those mentalities. Gave people some space to walk around. So the place we were at was in this like wooded area. So walk around the woods for a little
do
while.
a little sesh.
Well, no, just like to just go connect with nature, and then we
Okay.
come back and we'll all like break into groups of 4. And it was a very low THC, high CBD, right?
that's
so
probably,
we
yeah.
wanted more like of a focus, not like just like wheelchair high, right?
Yeah.
And so everybody consumed that wanted to. It wasn't required. And then and so we went back into the yurt we were at. Everybody laid down, and then Jared did about a 45-minute drum meditation.
Cool.
While people were getting like into
Yeah.
it,
That sounds amazing.
And he's an NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is basically like psychiatric hypnosis. practitioner,
Yeah.
like certified. And
Dude off Office Space.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, except he finishes.
deep.
Yeah. He doesn't just leave you there. So and then that weaved into me sound bath for like another 45 minutes to an hour, and then him bringing people back out with drums for another 40 or half an hour. So it's almost like a 2-hour sound bath experience.
Just lying on a mat.
That's insane.
Nice.
And then afterwards, then we had a wood fire going, so it was fucking cozy and shit.
In a yurt in the woods.
Yeah. And then afterwards, we had snacky treats, like charcuterie platters and chocolate almonds and cashews and stuff. It was fucking cool.
Sign me up for that next one, the yurt one though. I want to do the
the yurts are one of my favorite places to do.
Again,
we got to look at the days. So the reason why we didn't do a Friday is because we wanted to build in like that 4-hour chunk.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's gonna be hard.
And being out there, we'd have to start at 7.
Yeah.
So 7 to 11 is like that's a big ask.
Night.
Yeah.
Oh whoa.
If we did it on a Friday.
Yeah.
Because just give people time to get off of work.
So were people smoking joints?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we had joints, and you
just buy some pre-rolls, some
yeah,
right.
Well, like for lack of a better term, switching subjects a little bit. I mean, you can go to certain buildings and certain places for fetish shit. It's not they advertise that,
right?
But
Right.
like you can go there and it's like you can get that itch scratched somewhere. Like fuck.
Oh yes. Well, I've been trying to like. So Robin, you talk about this a lot. Rappers under the age of 30.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, just real quick. Never mind. Okay.
Go back to
this is good though. This is good.
Well, okay. So I recently, and I always listen to music. Like I'm trying to listen to newer music, but I sometimes find myself listening to newer music from the artists I already know. Mm-hmm. Like Common just put out a new album with Pete Rock, which is dope as shit, right? Yeah. But I've been listening to Common since the '90s. Same with Black Thought, stuff like that. The new Inspector Deck, Czarface, shit like that, right? But I still try to listen to newer music, but I find it more like pop music or like stuff that's yoga centric, like Bishop Briggs or there's Noga Erez, that's fucking dope as shit.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh my god, I love her. But so I listened to Questlove has a new book out called the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Hip hop is history, and in the very back end, like it might be even like the outro of the book, he talks about a lot of the newer hip hop and how it was hard for him to like wrap his head around it. And I find that a lot with myself. And I've talked about the Hey Ya experience like a couple podcast episodes ago, but how they became like how the record companies got people's brain wrapped around the concept of the song Hey Ya so they could understand how to like it. So I've been trying to like keep that in mentality when I'm listening to new hip hop. Yeah. And I found this group. Well, first off, Tyler the Creator's new album is coming out soon. Chromacopia. The 2 tracks he's dropped so far are fucking amazing. Great. They're so great.
He's mid-30s though, right?
But no. But I just wanted to put that out
around,
there. Yeah. But there's a hip hop group called Griselda, and they're cool name. 19 to 23, 24. And they're like very Wu-Tang-esque, right? Like very like grimy, hardcore, very lyrically driven. There's this dude Benny the Butcher, 38 Special. There's like 5 or 6 of them. But they've got like a lot of interesting like hype around him. I've listened to a lot of Benny the Butcher. I really like him.
I think that's the only one that rings a bell when you said that name. Like,
but and I'll butcher the story. But apparently Griselda is like some Che Guevara kind of person from Puerto Rico, I believe. But she apparently like she just like slaughtered a bunch of like.
Didn't they made a movie about her? They made a Netflix.
So. Yeah, totally.
I watched that. She was like,
yeah, she was like a bad bitch.
She was like a Pablo or
Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Escobar. Yeah,
okay.
she was like female Pablo Escobar.
There you go, like a drug kind of thing. Yeah. But so they talk a lot about like drug dealing and shit. But Griselda, I would check out Griselda. They're fucking dope. Cool.
Hip hop artists under 30. Yep. So you named one.
Yeah. That's a group. No, that's a group. There's like 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's true.
But no, actually, there's another guy that his name's escaping me, but he's from the Bay Area that I just got turned on to through Instagram. That's really dope. But what I really like, what I really appreciate, and what's actually exciting me now is watching, and what Questlove pointed out in the book is he pointed out how the the hip hop culture seems to follow the drugs that are popular, and they go through these waves. And we just came out of like the fentanyl opiate wave, and we're getting back into
mumble rap,
right?
Okay,
and we're getting back more into like more uppers, more of like the stuff that's becoming legal now, which is like clearing a lot of our shit out and becoming more conscious rap again. What do you want to call it, conscious rap? But more, let's say more lyrically driven rap.
Sure.
And you see that a lot with a lot of the new hip hop that's coming out. These cats are coming out with like female, male, whatever it is, they're just really lyrically driven. It's like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get behind that. The mumble rap really turned me off.
I'm obsessed
I just didn't
with
want to get
Doechii
behind
right
it.
now.
Doechii? Okay. I don't think I've listened.
Doechii, she's incredible.
Cool.
She's absolutely great. Her, she's got a couple great ones, but her newest song right now is Nissan Altima, and it is a banger.
I've heard that.
It's
okay,
a banger.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
do appreciate
every song
referencing Nissan Altima.
Yeah. It sold me at the title.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I'm sold up. Yeah, no, it's not Escalade. It's not a cool car.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, she's incredible.
So, what would you do if you just woke up tomorrow and had $1 billion? Because we've done like
Billion.
if money wasn't
not
a thing.
like fuck you money.
Yeah, so we've talked about like if money wasn't a thing, but that was more the mentality of like I can do anything I want and I've got the mentality. This is like surprise you woke up tomorrow and you got $1 billion. There you go. Like, what do you fucking do with that?
I've thought there was an interview that Kate McKinnon had on Drew Barrymore's show where she was talking about how she kind of like quit SNL and then just like moved to the woods. And she was like, it was really hard for me at first because I felt like all this time of being a performer, I had this certain amount of attention that I always had, but I always just like, now I just farm and carpenter. And I was just like, oh, the only reason that I want to be successful is so I have an excuse to be removed from society.
Oh yeah,
because if you remove yourself from society and haven't achieved anything of substance, you're just seen as like this kind of like I don't know, like
I get what you're saying.
In my brain.
I get what you're saying.
But like if you have been successful and you are this like you are Kate McKinnon or you are Joni Mitchell who can just like hang out in her Laurel Canyon house or you are whoever, it's just like they've earned that right to just not do anything.
Right.
And I've realized that I don't ever necessarily I've never been called to do one thing. I've been interested in a lot of different things, but like I've never been like, oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, I want to be a lawyer. Oh, I want to be this for sure. I've never wanted a career, but I have wanted something where I can say, hey, I've done that, and other people also validate that, and now I can have all this money and just retire early or whatever. So like if I woke up with $1 billion, you'd never see me again.
You know,
you would never see me again.
We started this podcast off with kind of bitching about restaurants, venting about restaurants, and it's kind of that's the whole thing. Is the only people that respect that profession are people that have done it.
Yeah.
So, like, at face value, it's like, okay, you go away to the woods now. It's like, oh, well, she was just a server or
exactly.
whatever, But the only person that would, that's from someone who hasn't.
Every other server would just be
like,
in the back.
fucking,
you
got
did
it. Fucking, mwah. Fucking, God, just
That's
fucking
so
sunset. Like, play it off.
That's everybody waving.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Just like, later. There she goes.
That's so real. Yeah, you're totally right.
Well, I got a question for you, though, because, like, you talked about Kate McKenna and, like, kind of what you just talked about, too, Robin, but, like, say you just like get the $1 billion, you go off and you do your thing, having completed what you've already completed with life now, which is amazing, right?
I would still feel unfulfilled.
Okay, I was gonna say
you'd never see me again, but like the validation would never be
do you
there.
think okay, so like how could it be a point where you could do it because like just because Kate McKenna has outward validation from because she's on TV.
Yeah.
Granted, like you're gonna have outward validation, right? But that shouldn't negate the path that somebody else is on, like you're on, right?
Yeah.
And the trials, tribulations, all the shit, all the things you've learned, all the things you've had to conquer and overcome.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the hard part. It's like accepting the fact that like not just because I'm not like Denzel Washington, doesn't mean I wasn't successful.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
yeah, and it's also like even those that are successful by the metrics, you find out they commit suicide and shit, and you find out it's like all these people are telling me I'm so great, and it's like I don't think I am.
Or you get
and it's like so fucking relatable, and you're just like, holy shit, you were dealing with that. Well, you know, past tense, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, like
Same
outsiders
fucking
looking
thing.
in, like I've seen so many documentaries of, you know, different artists, musicians, actors, you know, whoever, that have talked about, like, even though I've done this monumental thing, I feel like it's people, like, unless I prove it again, then it's a fluke. So, like, you have
Yeah, I mean,
the Jennifer Lopez
the Lauryn
documentary
Hill
I watched,
argument.
the Lauryn Hill argument.
Right.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
she knew her worth enough to be like, fuck y'all, I did it. I knew I could do it, and I don't need to do it again. But then you also have people like J-Lo. That J-Lo documentary on Amazon is like one of the... it's hard to watch.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge
I'll
fan
take
of
your
J-Lo.
word for it.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it. But it is basically watching this woman who, in my brain, is J-Lo. In my brain, you could go away to the woods and forever be J-Lo, and you never have to prove anything
She still
again.
wants to be like 28, though.
Yes, but her, in her brain, she is constantly still having to prove herself. When me on the outside looking in, I'm like, you did it.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw her
you're
perform.
for-
I saw her perform on Saturday Night Live, and she looked fucking amazing for 50 whatever the fuck. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But I'm like, she's doing like literally the exact same shit
Yeah.
that she did when she was like 28.
And this whole project she did, the documentary that's about, so she did this thing where she was
it On the
trying to
Six?
do what?
On the
yeah,
Six?
the girl from
Nah.
the Bronx. She was trying to do what Beyonce did with Formation. So she tried to do this movie / music video / thing that was just
Chris Gaines.
Yeah, right. Like she was
he's
just
in a lot
trying
of
to
trouble
make
right
a
now.
mark and like do something insane.
Yeah.
And so it flopped big. She had to cancel her whole tour. She invested all of her money because no one would invest in this project because no one believed in it.
Damn.
And so before it happened, you're like, yeah, you believe in yourself. You're investing all these, blah, blah, blah. And as you go through the documentary, everyone involved's like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And she's like, oh, she's calling Jane Fonda. There's a moment with her on the phone with Jane Fonda where Jane Fonda's like, I feel like you're trying to prove something. And, you don't have to prove anything. And she's like, oh, no, I'm not this. This is really my soul project. And Jane
Dizzy said
Fonda
that.
is calling her out being like,
Damn.
I feel like you're trying to say something you don't need to say.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I'll help you as a friend, but like, you don't need to do this. And
Yeah.
it seems kind of nuts and whatever. So, but... this will be the struggle in this soul body that I have. My struggle my entire life will be never having enough inner or outer validation.
I
No
gotcha.
matter what I do, no matter what level I get to, it won't ever be enough, and that will be something that is my journey in this life cycle that I'm in.
So, like, as you guys probably know, I can't take a compliment to save my own fucking life. But it's like where, I don't need attaboys,
Yeah.
but also, I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
Like, don't fucking give me an attaboy and don't
my
compliment
face.
me.
Yeah.
But I need to know that I'm the shit, and I need you to tell me that
Exactly.
you don't need to tell me that, but I need you to
I need
tell
the
me
streets
that.
to know.
Yeah,
I need
the
the streets
streets-
to
It's a
know.
healthy
Everyone-
balance.
But
yeah.
everybody-
don't say it to my face.
Don't say it to my face, but say it to
But when I
everybody
walk
else
into
that I
a
work
room-
with that is
yeah.
like, hey, that person's awesome.
Yeah, but but I don't know if I would do anything.
Yeah.
So
I think I would just exist comfortably.
Yeah.
I think that's
definitely.
my dream in life is just to exist comfortably. I think everything that's pushing me towards success is just so I can reach a level where I can exist comfortably. Like I've never had a passion that I've had my entire life other than like watching TV, like, or being obsessed with like art,
Yeah,
but I've never had a thing. And
Yeah.
so I think that's okay.
Yeah, oh,
but
yeah.
that's a thing that I've always had to like struggle with fighting, being like, is it okay though, or am I just a bum?
No, it's
No,
totally
no,
You know what I
no,
mean?
but
It is
like,
totally
I mean,
okay.
when you sit there and say I've never had a thing, it's like, I mean, define, I would say, the improv comedy fucking, whatever that is,
Right.
I
Yeah.
would say that's your thing. Now,
Yeah.
how that manifests into something else, I don't know.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I guess
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
I think maybe you've
to give
never
yourself
had,
credit, I guess is my
Yes.
point.
Yeah.
As we sit here and like rake ourselves over the
Right.
fucking coals here.
because I think to follow our passions is kind of it's not something everybody can do.
Yeah.
Right? If
Yeah.
you're working 3 or 4 jobs, you can't.
You have the
really follow your
luxury.
passions,
You have the
right?
luxury
Yeah,
to
totally.
find
Right.
your fucking hobby.
So-
But I
maybe-
don't love it enough. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't love it enough
Yeah.
to sacrifice my days off. I don't love it enough to to work 40 hours a week and do this. I don't love it enough to sell everything I own and move to LA or New York. I don't love it enough. Like, I love doing it, but like, there are these people that you hear stories of like, I had $10 in my account. I'm like, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane to me. Or like, hey, I work 60 hours a week, but I'm here at rehearsal and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't think I love it enough.
No.
I don't love it to the level that people love it. I love doing it when I'm doing it, but I would do it if I had $1 billion.
Right.
Well, it's like, I would like fucking probably open up a record store somewhere, and then it's just like, cool.
Oh, that's what I would do. A VHS store in the middle of a small town.
There you go. You could save Scarecrow. First thing you would do. First thing you would do is you would save Scarecrow.
I would save Scarecrow. I would have my own lesbian-owned all
just
media.
Fucking big first edition print of Bound.
Oh yeah,
just fucking
just
frame.
right as you walk in,
just Bound
on the ceiling.
Yeah,
just like Carla
fucking,
Gugino everywhere. Yeah. Sell video games.
The only thing I can think of is Bound. I can't think of another lesbian movie. Hold on.
That's it. That's the only one.
Was
we
it
got.
Mulholland Drive? Don't they do some lesbian shit in that?
A little bit, but the lesbian
Black Swan, huh?
It's a little bit.
Yeah.
But like Bound, they go in as like gay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't like just have sex with a lady in one scene.
Yeah,
I know. I literally just named them like, oh, what about that scene?
Yeah.
Or that scene right there.
Yeah, Bound is what we got.
Yeah, when we could name the outliers, it's not really progress.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Robin, you need to brush up on your lesbian films. Never thought I'd say that at 40. The trajectory at like age 13, I was like, oh, I see them all.
Well, there's a lot of interesting studies coming out now about people like you were talking about passions and things like that. You know, putting all your drive into this and all the we see these people that are just like, oh my God, I'm so in awe of this work ethic you have or whatever. But we're also seeing that like a lot of that is trauma responses.
Yeah.
A lot of it's like traumatic experiences that these people have had that they just don't like, whether it's misdiagnosed, ADHD or some, something on the spectrum or something like that, neurodivergence of some sort.
Yeah.
A lot of these folks turn to something and just hyper focus on this thing, and they'll become good at it, and that's great. But it's almost in an unhealthy way. Mm-hmm. So I think what you're talking about. This is one of the arguments about universal basic income. Like, if it ever becomes a thing, a lot of people will take advantage of it. And let's say, like, I get $1 billion tomorrow, and for the next year, I just basically sit on my couch. Mm-hmm. And, like, in a way, that has been looked at as bad. But, if you look at really the way society is, how did COVID, right? Like, people needed that break, but once the break kind of settled in, it's like, now what can I do that's constructive with my time that I want to do?
Yeah.
But like, we got to not chide and like talk shit about the fucking break, right? We're hustling like motherfuckers out here.
I'm tired.
Yeah, right.
Peace right now is my passion. I choose that over everything.
I was talking to Tiffany about this last night or 2 nights ago, and it reminded me of something you said on a podcast referring to when Harps was saying like, "Oh, I'm being lazy today," or whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of the same thing. And I remember
give my excuse to be lazy.
She was lamenting that she didn't get anything done today, and I'm going, I'm like, I want to be very clear that is not coming from me. That is nothing I said, and that is 100% in your. Well, no, I mean, it sounds a lot like, hey, don't fucking, I said this, from down the hallway because we're fighting. Yeah. But like the whole idea is like that is your internal thing right now, and sometimes people need to be reminded that it's like we all have.
This pressure isn't coming from outside.
Robin hasn't figured it all out.
The call is coming from inside the house on this one.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
No one's telling you.
That's good. The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, this is all your inner stuff. No one outside is making you feel this way. You are making you feel this way.
Okay, so I got a hypothetical for you because, like, in thinking about this, like, one of the things I thought about was like doing music again in some kind of way, like just being a fly on the wall, like a Rick Rubin, type of non really influential, just being in some cool spaces when music's being made. But it made me think about like I started thinking about Diddy just because he's in like the public eye right now, but. Like the Hitmakers, right? That was the name of the beat crew that the Bad Boy worked with. Mm-hmm. And then so you had Dre doing G-Funk, which was like a lot of the Parliament, like a lot of old samples like that. Mm-hmm. Kind of creatively done, but not as like creatively done as say like a Pete Rock or like or like a Dilla, where they'll just take like a snare beat and this hi-hat and then build a whole like track from these little snippets. It's like we're gonna take this 18-second loop from P-Funk,
reverse it,
right,
and now you got "Wanna Be a Baller"
or Diana Ross for the Hitmakers for More Money, More Problems,
drummer.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but those formulas worked, right? They take the old, make the new. So I don't think a producer is doing that now. But do you think that formula would work now, but with music?
What are they gonna
from
fucking sample like Ed Sheeran?
Exactly right. And so that's my question from our genre, our generation, like the Whitney Houstons, the Tony Braxtons, like those kind of R&B like ladies or like the Ushers and shit like that from our era. So do you think like that formula would work now if a producer now took that kind of idea to the 90s?
So like Ice Cube's son fucking samples Unbreak My Heart.
Yeah, and does some like fucking dope track over it, and like makes it all like...
I feel like it's only a matter of time. I feel like it's almost too soon, but
I think it's probably 10
years
too soon.
From now, it will then be vintage.
Yeah.
And then
25
people
years
won't know.
Is classic,
the people listening to it won't know where that sample's from. Like, there's so many samples where it's like, oh, I didn't know that was a Michael McDonald song. I didn't know that this was that. Like, it needs to be like a 30-year gap.
I remember KMFDM. God, well, I can't believe I brought them up.
That's a good one, yeah.
They covered Mysterious Ways by U2, which has got that sick riff.
Yeah.
But it's like, how come somebody hasn't sampled that riff?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's just like,
also if
we're thinking about it, like that was 32 years ago, 33 years ago.
Yeah.
I wonder if like artist rights are different now though. You
gotta pay motherfuckers.
Yeah, like I wonder
sure
like if
different.
anything like that, like with owning catalogs has been changed.
Kind of
like I know there's been a lot
we
of
talked
shit.
about it a couple weeks ago. There are big like BMI and like all the Sony is like starting to buy up old catalogs so they can start having lawsuits and shit.
You wouldn't franchise one of those fucking slushy places with your billion?
EGs? Oh my god. See, these are good ideas.
Just hire somebody to run it.
But that's the thing. I don't want to work.
So like again, back to the record
tight.
store, that sounds great, but it's like, okay, 12 to 5 a day, and it's like, cool, those are shit fucking hours. You actually serious about having business, or is this a hobby?
It could be, you have $1 billion. You could look at and say like, okay, I'm 40 years old. I'm going to plan to live to 65, right? 70. Right?
Oh, so I can start doing
maybe
hard
like
drugs
30 years, right?
Fuck my guy.
So my rent is going to be this much. You can figure out how much money it costs. It doesn't need to be a profit machine. You've already got $1 billion, right? Hire some fucking little kid. Just employ his whole family. Like they just keep going through, working at the record store, right? Making enough money to like get them insurance.
Yeah.
Like everybody's making $70,000 a year because who fucking cares? You can afford it. Doesn't need to make money. You're maybe making $1,000 a week. Fuck it. Who cares?
That's actually
right?
a really so much because everyone talks about billionaires like donating their money. That's such a smarter way to like give back to community.
Small, like
not even
failing small businesses.
Just like literally. Like $1 billion is an insane amount of money. You could pop up 100 small, like one in every state.
Like if you just bought a strip mall and then just like, okay, you're gonna pick a business.
I didn't even care. Oh, you didn't make any income this month? No worries. Here's some more. Like, but here's your paycheck and here's like health insurance I'll pay for, and like you could supplement it that way. That's actually a really good fucking idea.
It could be, okay, so I love this because this can be like a learning opportunity for people. Like it could be almost a school, right?
Yeah.
And let's say, okay, so we set a break-even point, right? So I don't care if we make money or not. We don't care if we make money or not. But let's say there's a break-even point at, let's say, $1,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
In revenue. Anything you make over that goes to the employees.
Yeah, because I don't need it.
It gets all that profit gets shared straight to the employees.
And that's
it doesn't go back into
motivation
revenue.
for them.
It doesn't go back into inventory.
Yeah.
I still provide inventory.
Hit the streets. Get that fucking tube man.
love
Put on
this.
the
This is
A-frame.
great.
You know what?
Put on that A-frame. Get the fuck out there.
I love this idea as a billionaire.
Well, no, see,
idea.
and this is more of just the rig system and shit, and this is gonna get a little nerdy, but like if you have that crazy amount of money, you could put that shit in a fucking
You put the like
CD,
1% of that.
and your percentage that you're going to get off that will be able to absorb whatever losses that this hypothetical strip mall in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Because like you could just do that for. I mean, you could do that for any. You could go to Flint. Or you could go to all the.
Just go fix the water in Flint. But see, it's like, how do you?
No, I'm just saying that like places that have like issues with unemployment, rent is fucking cheap as shit. You instead of like being a slumlord and turning and burning and making it as like a thing, like that is a genius way to be a billionaire.
There's actually so Nas, I think there's other hip hop artists.
Yeah, the executive production or executive producer.
Well, but Nas started a nonprofit charity group that supports hip hop artists that have contributed to hip hop but didn't get any royalties for it. So like Cool Herc, Cool Mo D, like all these guys that contributed a lot to the beginnings of hip hop, but weren't put in any production tracks, weren't directors, credits or anything like that. And so, our producer credits. And so, like, he started this foundation to raise money to basically take care of these folks. And also to start, like, find a way to give maybe, like, grants to a budding producer that doesn't have money to buy a beat machine, but you can see a lot of potential. So, hey, here's $1,000, go buy a beat machine, change your life.
Yeah.
So I think there's, like, opportunities like that where it's not necessarily like, I'm just going to give you money and just, like, here you go. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, your problems are solved. But, like, I clearly have
invest in them.
I'm going to invest in you. Exactly. Right. And that's, I think that's bigger than the actual cash. It's like, I see something in you and I have an opportunity to support that because you are a cool fucking human being.
Because it helps everybody.
Exactly. Right. And that's, I think, one of the problems with schools and the youth right now is that, like, we're not investing in the youth actually to be better people. Right, to be better creatives, to learn differently, and to, like, accept the fact that, like, I mean, we're still in two different goddamn measuring systems as a fucking world because
that
we're
SNL sketch.
Oh, it's so
it's so fucking good. It is again. I don't even like SNL that much, but that Nate Bargatze, like, different weights and measures sketch is
it's terrible, man.
So fucking good. Oh my
god. Real quick though, because you mentioned the J-Lo thing kind of fell apart and she self-invested and things like that. Killer Mike also self-invested in his solo album that came out 2 years ago, I think last year.
Yeah, he got a Grammy out of that.
Got a Grammy out of that one, exactly, right?
But
so, like,
the motivation, I think, was different.
Exactly.
He was inspired by art. She was desperate.
Yes. He had something to say that was outside of Run the Jewels and outside of what I think a record label wanted to hear him say. Because it's very gospel, it's very preachy. Like, it's a great, I love it. It's a great fucking album. But I could see why it'd be kind of hesitant for some of the labels to kind of push it aside. But it made a big fucking mark. And, he did self-invest in that. And now he's got, I think, 2 more albums coming out in the next couple of years. Follow-ups from this one. So,
what would be the first thing you buy if you won $1 billion, Robin?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Probably some house out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, same.
Like, not too, like, 20 to 30 minutes outside of town on a nice paved road or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I would do? I would buy the Practical Magic house that doesn't exist.
Still haven't seen that.
Bitch, how?
Dude, I just watched Miss Congeniality.
That, you know what's a lesbian movie?
Oh, that's a good movie.
One.
That was a good one.
No, okay, so yes, it was, okay, but here we go. No, it wasn't. So here the problem is that we act for the fucking sake of the movie that Sandra Bullock at the Sandy, we'll call her Sandy,
is a fucking dog.
Just a fucking bow wow fucking at the start of the movie. It's like, she just needs to comb her fucking hair.
That's it. Just
comb her. And everyone's like, Benjamin Bratt's like, oh my god,
you don't need a whole warehouse and a crew to buff her up. You just need a brush.
Like, it's still
just a brush and a dress. That's all you need. She doesn't need anything else. No, I totally agree. But okay, so you asked about lesbian movies. So Practical Magic is a story about 2 sisters, but it is gay as fuck. Like there's a fine line between sisters and lesbians sometimes.
I never threw that layer over top of it.
Well, it's very coded. It's like lesbian coded.
It's coded in a straight relationship.
Well, it is sisters, honestly, but like they're very gay. Like, it's just their relationship. Like, I remember, the group of women that I made them watch one time, and they're like, are they gonna kiss? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
like
the
Xena.
vibe. Yeah,
it's like Xena.
But
like
they
so
live
close
in this
to
house, and it was filmed on Woodby Island.
Nice.
So everyone thought this house actually existed, but it was just a set. So I would pay someone. That would be the first thing I would do. I would pay someone to build that house, make it reality, and then I would live on Woodby Island.
I get like the Swiss Family Robinson house or some shit. I'm like, make me that shit in the trees.
Exactly. I want want this replica created.
I would definitely have a treehouse option on my property.
You gotta have a treehouse.
As it is, just like fully furnished.
Zip lines. You gotta have some shit. You gotta
some kind of activity. Yurts aplenty.
Yep. So I've always. And this was from my young days when I used to sell drugs, but we
used to do them too.
Did a lot of them, yes.
Still do too.
Not as many, But I had that idea, you know, like I would think about that, you know, because dumb young kid, teenage.
When
shit,
I get
you know,
my
like,
stacks.
right,
Yeah.
right. But I've always wanted a monkey that can roll blunts.
Like a
and-
capuchin.
or like an orangutan or something, you know, but like cool.
Have you watched
right?
Chimp Crazy?
Yes, and that's why I want
can't
you know.
have a monkey that
well, this is
rolls
it. This is like,
blunts.
this is just ideas. Right?
Okay,
We're just
this
blue
is it.
sky
Okay,
and shit,
all
right?
right.
So two things. So one is a monkey that can roll blunts, and two is a walking parrot, one of the big ones. You know, like that kind of walks around and like it's. I've seen people walk parrots down the streets
What
before.
kind of parrots are you talking about?
They're like big motherfuckers, right?
What?
They're not these little bitty
Like a
macaw
scarlet
things, but
macaw?
I don't know. These motherfuckers like 4 feet tall.
What is
Whoa.
what do they look like?
I'll pull it
Pull
up.
one up.
But
A walking parrot?
yeah, big ass parrot.
Yeah,
It
he's
seems
making
cruel
shit
to make
up.
a bird walk.
Well, but I wouldn't want to walk him.
Right.
I would like this parrot to have a library of 90s movie quotes that it just would say randomly at.
That's good
at
use. So
opportune
that's a good.
times.
So you need to hire like the Cesar, the parrot whisperer, to like train him to like fucking.
Oh, Caesar Milan.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, like-
Caesar Milan, the parrot whisperer.
you just like, okay, you are going to learn speed today.
Yeah. Well, like the African Grey, you could have that dream tomorrow. Just 90s quotes. Those things are smart as hell.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so like I just got to find one that's like big enough to just make it happen. Let me see if I can find one that's big.
Probably get one of those Tibetan Mastiff dogs. Those are $500,000.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'd have to hire someone to pick up that shit because I don't want to pick up those fucking.
And brush it.
There's actually services now that can go around. They go around and pick up like dog shit. Well, this isn't.
My
really...
So
friend
how
does
much are you
one.
spending a month for that, Adam?
My friend charges
Free,
10
man.
bucks.
Yeah.
$10 to pick up all the poop in your yard.
$10?
That's not
Well,
bad.
she was already a dog walker, so
That's
it was
not
an added
bad.
service. So if you wanted to do that, but like, who wouldn't want to pay an extra $10? And so
Totally.
she makes an extra couple $100 a month.
I have a friend that does energy work and has a $5 extra fee for a half an hour nap at the end if you don't want to get up.
Nice.
And I'm like, that's pretty cool. I like how you build
I
that
would-
in there. You
I
know,
would do that.
it's like I got 5 on that. Just-
I think it's just funny that like if anyone wakes up with $1 billion, like all they want is like a house in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, yeah. I would definitely
Peace.
love to be in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But okay, so middle of nowhere, and it just dumb, but one middle of nowhere, or would you have like a hot house and a cold house?
Oh, I'd have more than one for sure.
Yeah, okay.
I think my main house would be in not in the middle of nowhere, but like no one. If when I walk out on my porch, I can't hear or see anybody.
Would it
Yeah.
be in the United States?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'd have one in Scotland as well.
Oh,
Like a little. I would Enya it.
and yeah, that shit.
Yeah.
There
I
you
would
go.
get my little castle. And
She never
that's
performed
cool.
live.
Never perform live, huh?
Enya.
Enya and Lauryn Hill both are just like, nope. I'm
no,
good.
Lauren. No. See,
Lauryn Hill performed live. But I'm just
Lauren
saying,
Hill
like,
will
Try to
have ticketed
perform live.
events. She will
Yes.
take your money.
attempt
Yes.
to.
Now, whether or not she shows up to that ticketed event,
on time. No.
yeah.
It's funny how many people defend, and I'm not trying to like get on her case because I don't know. That
yeah, you can come on over to this. There's no hip hop
Yeah.
artists under the 30.
Well, no, it's
Lauryn
just
Hill.
interesting to see how many people come out and defend her about like just again like standing up like entire like sold out
fucking-
shows and
fucking
things
bullshit.
like that,
Yeah.
right? That's just
I would give you an excuse if you were like
I was
T
a victim of the
Swifting.
Lauryn Hill
If you were T Swifting across the entire world, like all nonstop, and it's
Right.
like okay, cool, maybe
Plane
shit happen,
delays
maybe
or-
shit happen,
Yeah.
but it's like you cherry
Constantly.
pick like a 3-night stand at Madison Square Garden, and then you fucking don't show up.
Night
Yeah.
of
like-
not feeling well.
Yeah,
Bitch.
yeah,
that's fucking tough, man. That's fucking tough.
yeah. That thing.
But the thing is like she gets carte blanche because she is
That album's
a
fucking
musical
sick.
genius
That
and
album's
she is
sick.
the
Fuji's is
fucking,
good too.
Yeah,
Fours
like
of shit, definitely.
she gets a pass.
Yeah, did we give Wyclef Jean a pass? I brought that one up when he was funneling all that money from Haiti.
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
I don't
forgot
know.
he did
Yeah, I don't
that.
know.
Remember, it's always sunny. Gone
Yeah.
till November. I'll be gone till November.
Well, I mean,
forgot about
whether or not this has anything to do with it, he really, I haven't really heard anything from
Yeah.
him.
No.
So
Yeah.
maybe he's like ghost producing or something like that, just
Yeah.
to do some stuff. But yeah, maybe he's.
Yeah, I guess you kind of get scarce when you steal money from the like most unfortunate people at that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear the Fire Festival guys doing another one?
Oh, nice. You want to go?
I don't know
fucking
how
kidding
he's
me?
allowed to legally, but like
That
he's-
sandwich,
he's
man.
trying again.
That sandwich with side salad.
Dude, that was such a pathetic fucking picture.
So bad.
And just to know how much people paid for that fucking.
Oh,
my
God.
That's embarrassing.
Fire festival.
Yeah.
Fire festival.
Like I would probably I'd maybe throw some money at somebody to do a festival, but I wouldn't want to manage it.
No.
I wouldn't even maybe attend it.
No.
I could do Ponchella where everyone has ponchos.
You're just picturing it now?
I
You're
am.
just picturing it?
There's Fantas there too. They're gonna all have fantastic times. Yeah.
Ponchella.
Fucking hell. All right. Well, I think that might be a good ending spot.
Ponchella.
All right. Well, spend your billion. We'll see you next time.